Welcome to Kung Fu Punch Radio. I'm the Baron of these lands. You may call me James. Tonight, I'm joined by the regent of my troops, the fierce Clipper Jay.
Hello.
And joining him is his colt, the personalityless young boy, Nate.
I can do all my training at once.
Yes, and you can learn to control that Ozaru that's burning deep inside you.
Is that what that is?
I'm sure he turns into a giant monkey eventually.
Probably.
Should we tell people what we're talking about?
Yeah, let's do that.
Tonight we're going to be talking about Into the Badlands. Into the Badlands began airing on AMC in 2015. Starring and produced by martial arts wonder Daniel Wu, the show has gone on to develop a cult status among its viewers. I've just finished the first 6-episode season and thought now would be a good time to coerce my fellow pilots into watching it so I have someone to talk about this show with.
I actually watched the pilot when it came out a couple years ago.
Aren't you special?
I just never...
La-di-da.
Yeah, well... It was, available on the AMC website for a time, but I didn't have cable, and it wasn't on Hulu after that, and so I actually, I watched the pilot, and then I didn't hear anything about the show for, 2 years.
Yeah, that was kind of my reputation with Hell on Wheels. Being a Hell on Wheels fan, the thing that I've learned about AMC marketing is that unless you are Breaking Bad or The Walking Dead, you don't get marketing.
I've seen quite a few ads for Into the Badlands during The Walking Dead.
Really? Because it seems outside of their own channel, they get that one initial push when they launch, and then it's just radio silence.
Right, outside of their channel, yeah, for sure.
So, Jay, you're saying that AMC advertises for Into the Badlands at the one time when they aren't advertising for The Walking Dead.
Yes,
when
exactly.
The Walking Dead is actually on.
The one single time.
Yeah.
Yep. So I remember I think it was a year or so ago, I tried to find it on Hulu and Netflix and stuff, and I just couldn't find anything about it. I thought it had been canceled, and apparently season 2 is on right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's 6 of the 10 episodes through it.
And Jay, I think you mentioned that it was renewed for a season 3.
Yes.
So
that's actually I'd seen ads for it recently on The Walking Dead, like I mentioned before. So I'd seen those, and then I looked it up because I thought, like you, that it had been canceled because I hadn't heard anything about it for a little while, not 2 years long, but for a little while. So I did some research, and I did see that it was renewed for a 3rd season. So it must be doing somewhat well.
Hopefully, yeah. No, and it's a solid show. So I'm hoping that they get the opportunity to at least tell a complete story.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of shows don't really get that opportunity. AMC has a better track record with that, even if they don't market very well, they do usually tend to give their shows an opportunity to come to completion. Again, citing Hell on Wheels, which, I don't think was exactly it wasn't exactly a big deal on ratings, but they still gave it the 4 seasons that it needed in order to polish everything off,
Right, and Breaking Bad finished as well.
Yeah, well, Breaking Bad, that was a phenomenon at the time.
Yeah.
So, it's no wonder that they got the opportunity.
But yeah, so the show is, like you said, a martial arts show, and it's kind of set, we want to talk about the setting a bit, it's set in a sort of dystopian... I'm pretty sure it's a dystopian America.
It's post-apocalyptic America. There was
it's antebellum era, Deep South.
Yeah, which is just kind of a cool setting. We don't get to see post-apocalyptic Louisiana very often.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was definitely. Yeah, they're definitely that's got to be Louisiana. Just trying to piece it together from the little geographical information that you get from the show.
It's also a nice mix of kung fu and steampunk and like I don't know if you're a fan of Wild Wild West, which I know a lot of people aren't, but you know it's one of the few steampunk movies we have to go by. But like the Baron, I forget his name, but Quinn? Yeah. He reminds me a lot of Loveless from Wild Wild West.
The Baron, Quinn, is himself, he's a nasty piece of work, you know.
He's for sure.
A compellingly flawed character. Like, on the one hand, you kind of almost want to cheer for him, but also on the other hand, you know, he's a bastard. You know, he's the kind of person that world has made him. You know, so, but, I mean, yeah, the setting, it takes place 500 years after a gigantic war basically dismantles civilization, and this is...
I didn't know there was I didn't know they put a, like, time on it.
I don't think that this is information from the show itself, but this is info that I pulled off of the wiki.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so, and it's basically, you have these 7... men and women who have come together in this one territory of this lawless hellscape, and they have decided to force some semblance of society into shape by creating a class structure where they have completely outlawed firearms, and their will is enforced through highly trained, very specialized fighters called clippers. I mean, basically everyone has their own army of crack martial artists.
Yeah, I found it interesting that there were no. Well, I don't know if there are later on, but in the 2 episodes that I watched, there were no guns. There were only swords.
Yeah, no, I went through the whole first season run, and there was not a single firearm to be found. So apparently, that edict went real well.
Hmm.
And I guess it's just, you know, a measure of how incredible their troops are that they have been able to enforce this particular edict to the point to where you probably can't even find them anymore.
Yeah.
If you outlaw martial arts, only martial artists will be outlawed. No, wait. That's not how it goes.
Something like that.
People don't kill people. Kung Fu kills people.
It kills a lot of people.
Yeah.
One of the things that's cool is cool or kind of, you know, disturbing is a lot of the clippers, they get tattoos of like how many people they've killed.
Yeah, hash marks.
Yeah, so they have like a lot of them you see like on their arms and like when you see them like their backs and chests and everything, they have like just like a ton of hash marks. Some of them are small, some of them are really big. I don't know if that's like you killed 20 people, but you know, you have the main characters easily going through like a dozen guys at once.
Yeah, Sonny, yeah, one of his first scenes that you see him, you know, these guys challenge him to a fight, and he just politely puts his sword down and then proceeds to destroy everyone. And it's you know, that's Daniel Wu again. He's an incredible martial artist, and I believe that he did the choreography for this show, among the various other services that he provided in this show's production. And so, you know, he's the main character, but, like, he's really worthy of the position. He's fantastic in his role as the main character.
And his character, Sonny, they show him at one point where Quinn makes him take off his shirt and show all the other potential clippers his kill count on his back, and his whole back is just covered with all of those marks.
Yeah, he's just completely slathered in them.
So do we want to talk about the other Barons, or do we want to talk about MK first?
Oh, let's talk about the other Barons, because I freaking love the Widow.
The Widow is amazing.
You like the Widow?
She is basically Black Widow from Marvel Comics. Like, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow is dead to me now. I want this chick to be Black Widow in the MCU because she is amazing.
Because you've discovered Orla Brady.
Whatever you just said, sure.
Well, that's the actress's name.
Is that her name? Okay.
Yeah, that's. Oh no! Orla Brady is Lydia. She's the older wife. No, the Widow was played by Emily Beecham.
Yes, that's her.
Okay.
Yeah. If she had a Russian accent, she would be Black Widow from Marvel Comics.
Oh, yeah.
No, you know what? I can see it, you know, with the red hair, and I thought that the hair kind of swooping over one eye was actually like a really cool aesthetic that she had going on. And she, her whole aim, after suffering years of abuse at the hands of her Baron. Like, she was his regent, so she was the head of his clippers, but she was also his wife. And after years of abuse at his hands, she's like, okay, screw it, kills him, and takes over as the Baron of his lands.
Yeah, and that's how badass she is.
It seems like nobody's really accepting her as Baron, but also nobody's making a move to depose her and replace her with a new Baron. Like, the other Barons they don't really trust her, but also they're not going to do anything about her, which Quinn feels like he needs to. You know, he's like, no, she's not a proper Baron. But her whole aim is, you know, she's like, this world is being run by really awful, violent men who just do whatever they want to women, so I'm going to train an army of assassin girls, and I'm going to take this place back in the name of gender equality. And so,
her daughter, Matilda, is awesome.
Yeah, she is a super violent first-wave feminist. She's pretty cool.
That's one way to put it.
Sure.
Yeah, she's a pretty cool character, but I mean, just like all of the others, she's real sneaky and conniving. That's, you know, one of the first things that they say at the beginning is, you know, this world is built on blood. Nobody is innocent here. Like, everybody has an agenda, everybody's scheming, and everybody's just a little bit dirty, but also just a little bit good. Like, there are very few characters, with the exception of maybe, like, Ryder, that didn't have, like, some kind of complexity going to him. Ryder, who's Quinn's son, he's just a spoiled asshole.
Just a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's terrible.
He's a great character, doesn't get better. But he is terrible.
Through the first season, that doesn't get better. He continues to suck through the whole first season. So, yeah.
So I got through episode 3 last night, and I plan to finish the rest of this week sometime.
Cool.
Just because I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it
was really good.
And one of the great things about it is that, I mean, martial arts fights are very low budget, so they keep up the action throughout the whole series. Like, at least once per episode, you can expect there to be a really, really awesome fight. Well choreographed.
Yeah, it seems like so far it's like one fight, like just taking out a bunch of mooks, and then one fight like between some real experts.
Yeah.
For the most part, anyways. So.
Yeah, well, and then once you get to, like, they start introducing some of the other barons, you meet Baron Jacoby. He runs mines. You know, each one of the barons has their own, like, industry that they take over for the whole of the Badlands for the sake of trading. Baron Quinn does an opium trade, and then the widow, she produces and processes gasoline, and then Jacoby, like, he's producing metal, I believe it is. But a lot of his clippers actually use mining picks in their fighting. Like, they use them as throwing weapons and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. The Widow is the only other one I've seen so far, and she was great. And, like you said, her daughter, Tilda...
Yeah.
She's really good.
Yeah.
She's interesting. She's kind of a cool character.
And
I like
also...
her.
Tilda totally looks like Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite.
She does.
She does. Wow.
She absolutely does. You are not wrong.
I thought she reminded me of someone, and yep, that's it.
Right? And part of it is because one of the stylistic choices of this show is that they're really big on like bold colors.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's colors determined by whom you serve too.
Yeah, so like, you know, Quinn has like his guys all wear sort of dark red.
Yeah. They're all kind of a blood crimson sort of color.
Yeah,
and the poppy fields are all red.
Yep, and then the widow's people are all wearing blue
of some variety. Yeah, like she's got her dudes are all wearing like bowler caps and then like blue vests.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so cool. Martial arts fight against dudes wearing fucking vests and bowlers. But then like all of the women in the widow's army, all of the teenage girls that she's trained up, they're all wearing this kind of gothic Lolita kimono deal going on with like butterfly shuriken and, you know, that sort of thing going on. It's really like there's a lot of cool style to this.
While we're talking about style, one thing I noticed was there's a lot of guy liner in this show.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, I think it's the Nomads especially have a lot of it.
Yeah, especially.
And Quinn does too, and it's like I think one of the cool things that they do with him is that as he worsens physically throughout the first season, just like it starts to smear and streak across his face. It's really cool. It's a neat way of indicating his physical condition.
One thing that I like about this is that like all of the Barons, all the Barons, they have these Clippers who basically, for the most part, kill for them without question.
Yep. They're almost ingrained to be fanatic followers of their Baron.
Mm.
And there's one part in the second episode where Sonny refuses to kill somebody. And it's like the first time that anybody ever defies the Baron and survives.
Yeah. He even mentions, I never give second chances.
Yep. He takes Sonny's sword and kills this old couple because they know, basically
dangerous
this couple.
Secret.
Yeah, which is that the Baron is sick. And
Spoiler.
but yeah, he goes in there and Sonny just stands out there and, you can see him, just like really torn over this. And the Baron comes out covered in blood and hands him his sword and is like, I've never given anyone a second chance. As far as I'm concerned, you killed them.
Yeah.
And so that seems like the real moment where Sonny kind of decides to go against the Baron, I think.
Yeah, that's he's waffling with it because he's, they established in the first episode, he's got this lady love, and
yep.
The Clippers are not allowed to have children, and she is definitely preggo, and she's like, hey, we gotta leave, or else I'm dead and the baby's dead. And he's like, no, I can't leave, I'm loyal, blah, blah, blah. And then that goes down, and he's like, leaving's starting to look real good right now.
Yeah.
So...
Also, you forgot to mention also that the old couple are his girl's parents.
Yeah.
Or adoptive parents.
Which starts to cause some real interesting complications in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I like that the Barons, like, while they, inspire this fierce loyalty, at the same time, they're not afraid to go get their hands dirty themselves.
No, well, and Quinn himself, he was the Clipper for the previous Baron and decided to take his opportunity and strike down the Baron and get, become a Baron himself. And he was recognized by all of the other Barons for having done so. And that appears to be a recurring cycle of bloodshed that goes on in this society that they've created. There's talk several times about, well, why doesn't so-and-so just clip their Baron, and we'll all recognize them as the new Baron.
And yet no one wants to recognize the widow.
Yeah, nobody wants to recognize the widow. I think it's because she's a woman.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is actually the point that they were going for there.
Yeah.
Is she the only female Baron?
I think she might be. I don't know.
Okay.
They don't really go into a lot of detail about some of the other Barons. The only Barons that we meet during the course of the first season are Quinn, the Widow, and Jacoby.
Okay.
And Jacoby's cool. I want to know more about him. I like his style.
I assumed she's the only female because the guys that came to, what are they called? The bandit guys.
They call them nomads.
The nomads, yes. She had like a meeting with them, and they were like making fun of the fact that she's training a bunch of women. Like, oh, they're not, they're nothing. And then she like, offers a challenge to them. Like, well, if my daughter can take out one of your guys, then you'll side with us and you'll join with us against Quinn. And he says, well, if my guy wins, then we'll take your daughter. And, he thinks that she's not going to be, anything. And then she basically snaps the guy's neck right away in like 2 minutes. And, he's very shocked. Like, I can't believe women can do this.
Yeah, there's that. And Jacoby's, she's in the third episode. His what are they called again? The boss Clippers, the Regents, right?
Yeah.
His Regent is a woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that far yet. I only made it to 2 episodes.
Yeah, the Regents can be women. That's well established.
They show scenes of like Clippers training at Quinn's little mansion or whatever, and they're all dudes.
Yeah, for Quinn they're all guys, but like Jacoby's Regent is a woman, and then like you've got the whole army of teenage girls that the Widow's running. It does seem like there's some establishment for women to be Clippers, just not Barons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the show, though. I'm definitely going to watch some more. It reminds me of, like... Excellent. Have any of you seen the movie Priest?
No.
I was curious about it, but I never got around to watching it.
It's based on I believe, a Korean comic.
I think so, yeah.
And the movie is really well done. It didn't do well in theaters, I don't think, but I enjoyed it. And this kind of reminds me of that, like the way the Clippers remind me of the priests in that movie. And kind of like that meets like the Society of the Divergent series.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely... I
can see that.
There's definitely tones of Divergent in this.
Yeah.
I see that.
So why don't we talk about Magical MacGuffin Kid? Good old MK. I decided as of the last episode that I think that's what MK stands for.
Okay. That's
Magical
Kid? As good a guess as
I think it stands for MacGuffin Kid.
MacGuffin Kid? Okay.
Yeah, MK, as he's called in the series, is pretty much the impetus for the plot to start rolling. You know, as the show starts out, you see this convoy of new slaves, new workers that were being shipped to Quinn's compound to be put to work in the poppy fields, and they've all been systematically executed. And Sonny rolls up, checks it out, and then notices that one of the sets of chains is missing. This is where he then meets the nomads that we had previously mentioned, where he goes 1-on-12 and kicks everyone's ass. Like, he goes in there and he's like, okay, so I see you guys stole a thing, give it back. And they're like, no. And he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna make you. And he ends up rescuing MK from this. And the big mystery is, why was MK, why do people want MK? And then it's just revealed at the end of the first episode that he's got this special power. When he cuts, he turns into a Super Saiyan, and he just goes crazy. And, so, like, it's a lot of it is about, he knows about this magical city beyond the Badlands where everything's shiny and happy, but where also apparently they create violent murder children and send them into the Badlands. And so, like, it's all this mystery around, like, okay, well, can we get to this utopian city out there? And, like, what's the deal with his powers? And can he learn to control them? And, he's... The kid himself, he was played by... I don't know, I closed my wiki for some reason.
Aramis Knight.
Thank you for that.
Which is a super memorable name.
Yeah, it is. It sounds like a young adult novel hero.
It really does, yeah.
Aramis Knight in the City of Azra. Too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit, that could be a book. Aramis Knight in the City of Azra. Yep. Anyway, which is the name of the city and that everyone wants to get to in this.
In the show, it sounds like they say Azeroth, by the way.
I never picked up on that personally, but you do you, Nate.
Yeah.
So, what was I saying? Anyway,
so at first it's revealed
that he's a good actor, but the character is terrible and annoying.
No, I don't think
that's what you should have been saying,
yes. A good actor. I think that's part of the problem. Like, so the actor himself is, he's a little bit wooden. And they don't, for all that he is the center of everything, they don't give him a lot to do. Most of the action, most of the story goes to Quinn, Sonny, the Widow, even MK's erstwhile love interest, Tilda. Like, they all get more to do than he does, even though he's supposedly the center of the plot. So
they're also way more interesting than he is.
They're also all of them way more interesting than he is, which is what leads me to call him MacGuffin Kid. Like, he doesn't serve any purpose other than to start the plot. And I don't know, maybe between season 1 and 2 he gets some acting lessons and they write him better things to do. So those are my hopes for the second season.
Yeah. I think all of the writing is kind of lacking.
A little bit.
I don't think it's a particularly well written or in general well acted show.
You're there for the style and the fights.
Absolutely, yeah.
Although I do really like Quinn.
Quinn is very well acted.
He's very well acted. They give him a lot to do. He's a very complex character.
Yeah.
He's by far the best actor in the show.
He's not.
I don't think Daniel Wu's a great actor.
Daniel Wu's a fine actor. Given that he's supposed to be a stoic badass, which he is.
Okay, maybe.
But I can see that. The guy who plays Quinn, he plays this character that is, he's not a good guy. But also, he's maybe not a bad guy. There are
no. He's definitely a bad guy. He's just maybe not a horrible guy.
He's an antagonist, definitely. But just because you are a bad guy does not mean you're a bad
guy. Right.
I think Ryder is well acted too. I think that is kind
Ryder
of it's a subplot, but that's more the main plot for me is the relationship between Quinn and Ryder.
Yeah, and there's some interesting stuff going on there. And also Ryder's mom, Lydia, who's Quinn's first wife, is his oldest wife. She's actually represented very well as well, and she's kind of going into another kind of sort of feminist thing where she's like, okay, well, women are generally powerless in this world, so I have to find power where I can get it, and he gets it by being the advisor to Quinn, the person who points him in a direction to go. She's his voice and his conscience.
Yeah.
And she's devious, so she's not a great conscience.
No, yeah, and she's trying to raise Ryder as to someone to take over for when Quinn is out of the picture, and it seems like she's not super pleased with Ryder.
Well, nobody's pleased with Ryder because he's a little shit. He's a Trump child. He was raised to power, and he's just kind of spoiled and entitled.
Mm-hmm. There was a part in the second episode where I thought you were going to see him fight, but no, he just gets chained up.
Was that the second episode? Was that really that early?
That was the second episode, yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought that was a lot later than that.
He gets hung from a chain.
It's when they go to that warehouse or whatever. Yeah, he's you see he has that fucked up foot and everything, but he pulls out a sword and oh, okay, I guess he's gonna go in.
Yeah, he can do something. And no, he goes down like a bitch. I thought he was going to die.
Yeah, he looked like he was passed out for several minutes. I would think that not having oxygen to your brain for that long. Yeah, so for sure.
I thought he was going to die and that it would make Quinn really furious with Sonny.
Yeah.
I thought that's where they were going with that.
Yeah, but that's how MK gets his into society and how Sonny keeps going, and it's.
But so anyways, so MK is he's the traditional whiny know-it-all apprentice who's actually kind of awful at everything he does.
Oh my god, he's the worst.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
One of my I think other than the introduction of the widow at the very beginning of season 2, one of my favorite scenes in the first three episodes is when he goes to fight the Clipper in the wheelchair.
yeah, Waldo, who was the former regent of Quinn's forces.
Yeah, and so he's like, okay, you think you know how to fight? If you can land a hit on him, I'll train you any way you want. And he's like, so he goes, MK goes, is this a joke? He's in a wheelchair. And Waldo goes, come on, I won't even use my legs.
Yeah, Waldo's great, and he is also played by a very good actor.
Who's the actor?
I do not know, but
I know I've seen him in other stuff.
Yeah, he was in Avatar.
He was the Colonel in Avatar. That guys. I don't think he was the Colonel from Avatar.
Yes, he was. I'm positive. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, he's one of those that guys. You look at him, you go, oh, hey, it's that guy.
Yeah. No, I hope he gets more screen time.
I should know his name.
I like the character.
Yeah. He was actually, a lot of people wanted him to play Cable in Deadpool 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that would have been a good pick.
But, yeah, so...
I have to Google it.
Anyways,
it's killing me.
Are you going to look it up, Jay?
I am. Stephen Lang.
Okay. But yeah, he's I think he's like probably my favorite like side character.
He's among them for me.
Yeah, he's great. And I hope he gets more airtime, but I definitely see him I see something bad happening to him, like the Baron getting upset and like taking it out on him or something like that.
Do you?
Huh.
I do.
Is that what you see?
Yes. But, yeah. MK's a whiny little bitch, and...
Yep.
The less said about him...
To sum it up.
He exists to move the plot forward.
Yeah.
You should be grateful he's the reason we get to see more martial arts action.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, it's...
I do kind of like the little romance between him and Tilda.
Yeah, that's kind of sweet.
When he's like getting into the bathtub and she's supposed to be watching him and she looks away, but then she kind of takes a little peek.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, my mom told me not to take my eyes off you. I don't think she meant that literally.
My mom told me.
Yeah.
I need to stare at you in the bath. That's what mom said.
And then the widow gets real mad when Tilda's trying to help MK escape.
Mm.
And MK so Tilda thinks fast and like, pretends like she's kissing him, and Widow's like, "Nah, yeah, you gotta leave."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I have a feeling that they'll end up working together again.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not such a whiny bitch at that time.
Yeah.
No. There's room for growth there.
There's
room for improvement.
The only way from here is up.
Oh, yeah.
As far as that character goes.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's so one thing I was a little confused on when watching is like the geography of the Badlands. So you know that Quinn's and the Widow's territory are like bordering each other.
Yeah, they're right up on each other. You actually see the border stones at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's this like town that goes. There's
so
this little town. I'm not sure.
The town is not affiliated with any of the Baron's territories. That's
okay.
Where the cogs, what they call the people who work for each of the Barons, that's where they live.
Okay.
But
I wasn't sure if that was just like a sort of central location.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's
that
at the
center that a couple of the Barons have people who live there.
Yeah, I think it's at the center of the at the center of the Badlands.
Okay. So that was a little confusing because it seemed like getting from leaving Quinn's territory to getting to the Widow's like house took like 10 minutes. Like it seemed like her house wasn't very far from the border.
No, it's a very small territory that all of this takes place in. But apparently, like, beyond that, it's just wasteland.
Yeah, that's what Sonny tells MK at one point. He's like, nothing's out there.
Yeah.
He's like, look out there. What do you see? And then, what was it? Oh, Waldo tells Sonny, like all that's out there is stories. Like nobody knows what's actually out there. It's a paradise. It's it's a wasteland. Like nobody knows.
Yeah,
and we have this indication that there's at least one nice city.
Yeah, well, there's Azra.
Yeah,
supposedly.
I imagine we won't find out for several seasons at least.
No, maybe not.
Yeah. It'll be like Earth in Battlestar Galactica. It'll take a really long time to get there.
No, that's the ultimate end game there.
But yeah.
That's what makes me, like, that's what reminds me of Divergent, is I feel like there is something out there, and maybe this is just like a really confined thing with the Barrens. Like, it seems like each of the Barrens' properties is like basically like a plantation.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Like, they have their fighters and a small set of buildings for some of the cogs, but like, the bulk of the working force lives elsewhere.
Right. And I feel like it's just like a combined society, and then there's something else out there that's maybe the Barrens possibly know about and don't want the rest of, they don't want the cogs and everybody to know about.
That could be. That makes sense.
Hanging on to their power any way that they can.
Yeah.
Also, I like that the workers are just called cogs.
Yeah.
Like, talk about, like, stripping the humanity from the,
right out
from the
of
laborers.
Yep.
Like, yeah, there's definitely some, some class warfare going on.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you said, James, it's not even class stuff. It's like a caste system.
Yeah, it is absolutely a caste system, with each caste having its own specified name and place in the working order. There's even an individual caste for the prostitutes, who are referred to as dolls and only allowed to live on the property of the one building where they operate out of.
That's right. I remember them mentioning something about the dollhouse, and I was like, what is that about? That makes sense.
That is the one brothel.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes it sound even worse.
And this is all shit that's implied, like, further on. But I mean, you gotta keep in mind that this is all a society that was constructed from what was basically, irradiated anarchy. This is better than what they came out of. So that's the reason why people might be reticent to actually rise up against the society that's been built.
So you're saying that at least Mussolini let the trains run on time?
I'm not excusing them. I'm just saying, this is the reason why the society is probably held together for as long as it has.
And especially if nobody knows what's beyond the Badlands.
Yeah.
Right.
So... And it seems like they're not particularly keen on giving the cogs any type of weapons or training or anything. So
the only way to become a competent fighter in this world is to dedicate yourself to lifelong training. And so that puts, like, any competent resistance from the working class right out. There's nothing there to be like a true equalizer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that the nomads have hatchets. They all fight with hatchets, and it's kind of like that's a very primitive weapon. You would think that a nomad would have something like that.
Yeah, even these guys don't have guns, even though they exist outside of this society.
Yeah.
So James, you know how season 1 ends.
Yes, I do.
All right. Without getting too much into how it ends, where do you see the show going?
Oh God!
Do you think we'll leave the Badlands soon, like in season 2?
I think they have to leave the Badlands in season 2 because there's some real shit that goes down in the very last episode, like in the last 5 minutes of the last episode, that implies that some people have to get up and leave. So. Gotcha. Yeah, I think season 2, you're going to start moving further north, away from the coast, where the Badlands takes place.
So it falls or can fall into the same trap that The Walking Dead falls into every couple of seasons, right? Where they're staying in this one place, and it's going well or well enough, and then shit goes down, and they have to leave that place.
I don't know. Maybe. I
Jay,
don't know.
I know you watch The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
yes,
I don't.
Eventually, they're going to be in some abandoned building eating dog food out of a can.
Yep.
It's going to be in the farmhouse.
Then they're going to find another place, and yeah. So,
God damn it! Why isn't MK in the house?
Yes, MK is the Carl of Into the Badlands.
Coral.
That works.
There, I said it.
I guess so.
Like the season 2 Carl.
Season 2, yeah.
Not like current Carl.
Is current Carl good?
I actually like current Carl.
Current Carl's better. I haven't seen.
I've stopped.
He really takes the initiative. He's
season 6, yeah.
He's really grown.
I haven't seen season 6 yet, but yeah, he starts pulling his weight.
Yeah. So hopefully MK will reach Carl status.
And really, it's not a high bar.
No, it's not terribly, and yet he still fails to reach those heights even now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in the future, we'll see some MK and Sunny memes.
I would love to see that. Those dad joke memes are my favorite thing to come out of The Walking Dead.
Those are great.
But yeah, this is a really good show so far. I think if you have any interest in martial arts, you should check it out.
Absolutely, this is a fantastic production, being put together by people who have long experience in the Chinese cinema. So it's got a lot going for it in terms of potential production power. If you are a fan of martial arts, if you're a fan of post-apocalyptic, if you're a fan of just fucking cool action, like, this is a good series to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, or just gentlemen in this case, how many Lucy's would you give Into the Badlands so far?
Nate?
8 Lucy's? 8 Lucy's out of what?
I give it Nate Lucy's out of 10.
Nate Lucy's out of 10?
No. Let me see. I'd say I'd give it like 7 so far.
I think
so
7 out of 10 is fair.
Maybe 7.5, depending on how granular you want to be.
Yeah, I think on the Lucy scale, this one definitely ranges towards I think it's a solid B.
Yeah, I just don't think the acting is particularly good, and I don't think I mean, especially if you compare it to AMC's other offerings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
we have to expect that from Kung Fu, Kung Fu genre.
That's very true, but at the same time, it's a lot of seasoned actors, it's a lot of...
True.
And at the same time, this is, the network that gave us, Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead.
Right.
Yeah, there's a good pedigree here.
Yeah, so it's... So I don't think the acting is up to par with, like, other AMC shows.
No.
Yeah, I agree. But
that said, I'm not here necessarily for the story. Like,
no. And in terms of writing, there's a lot of unnecessary kind of circles that they go through during the course of kind of the middle episodes, like episodes 3 to 3 to 4. Like, there's a lot of plot circles that are going around, a lot of unnecessary back and forth. There's some real lulls in the action. I think if this show could have been condensed to half its running length, like maybe 3 episodes, it would be real tight.
I don't know. Yeah, I would give it like a B plus.
Yeah.
I really like it. I think aside from kind of the like low end acting, I think that the some of the topics that are hidden in there, like, we talked about the feminist topic and stuff like that, are really well done. So yeah, some of them are kind of like, cliche, but I really like the setting, and I really like, I think it's well put together. It's a good mashup of different genres and different ideas.
Yeah. The setting, the action, and Sonny are why I keep coming back.
Because Sonny just brightens up your day.
He's cool. I like him a lot.
It's such an incongruous name for that character.
Who was it? Was it MK who said that? He asked him his name. He's like, why did they call you that? Because you just brighten up everybody's day.
Oh, yeah. It's such a weird name for that character. Like, I don't look at him and think of Sonny.
It's generic.
But it is, yeah. So, but I think, it's better than MK.
Yeah.
Who I think is the only character who just goes by initials. So, James, I think you're right. It's MacGuffin Kid.
I really do think it's MacGuffin Kid. MacGuffin Kid or Magic Kid.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
I think that's going to call it. Yeah,
and I may also increase my rating after I finish the season. So.
Well, we'll have to touch back on that and see what you say.
Yeah. I plan to finish it this week if I can get around to it. So
yeah, I probably will too.
Cool. Yeah, it's not a long journey. It's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to call it there. Rocket Punch Radio is a giant kung fu podcast fighting force designed to beat back the evil Lord Ennui and his army of Clippers. You can follow the Rocket Punch Corps by reviewing us wherever you listen to podcasts and by checking us out at rocketpunchradio.com or on the Grown Ass Geeks Facebook group. Our theme song was composed and recorded by Brent Black at brentblacktunes.com. This podcast was produced by Samantha, and our artwork was created by Jay Garcia of Audio Visuals. Say hello, Jay.
Hello.
You can find us on Twitter at RocketPunchRDO and also on YouTube where we post Let's Plays, podcast episodes, unboxings, and more. Gentlemen, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on PlayStation and Twitter at Blade of Creation.
Okay.
And you can find me on Instagram at Intelligent Unlimited. And you can check out my Etsy shop at etsy.com/shop/intelligentunlimited. And you can also check out my graphics portfolio at audiovisuals.wix.com/portfolio.
And can you spell audio for us?
Yes, it is ODDIO.
And that will all be in the show notes. You can find me on Twitter at jpatrickauthor, where I am happy to chat with you about any kind of cool pop culture stuff that's going on, or just goof around. You can also find me on the web at jpatrickallen.net, where you can learn all about the books and the various projects that I'm working on, including my award-winning horror western series, Dead West, of which the second book is out. Bond of Blood is available on Amazon and at 18thwall.com. Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure speaking with you.
Can you spell all of that for us? The whole paragraph that you just...
No, I can't.
Oh, okay.
I can't spell. I'm a writer, Jay. That's what editors are for.
Nice.
That's what spell check is for.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Ditto.
Yes, it has.
Ditto. All right. Good night.
Good night.